me just find it. Not for you.
I already looked it up. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Why does it
Then
seem
what?
so low?
Then what battle did you were you singing?
Oh, this one. It's this
Cause they,
one. This one is dun, 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 dun.
they got this level where it's called a side quest is called Digger.
Digger.
Uh-huh.
Look at that digger.
Hello. My name, as you can see, I've been in.
I don't think I should
Do,
attack this drone.
do, do.
Smaller drones don't usually have a language system installed. What's going on
I told you were gonna like this. I'm currently incapable of projected conversation. Energy levels low. I will remain unable to escape. Please operate the ticker. I kindly request your.
here? All right.
Right. Digger. You's a fucking digger.
Dirty digger.
Dirty digger. Digger ass digger.
Terrible.
Alright.
And I used to love, man, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy X, man, when I played it back in the day. There was just something about it, man. It was like the world that they had, and even the way the characters and stuff looked. As much as people fucking made fun of Tidus, man, for
I like
that
this
one scene.
design.
No, not his design. That one scene in the game where he was
He was
fucking,
like laughing.
yeah. Tidus was actually a cool character, man. I like Tidus. I remember when you right after the opening of the game, and you wash up on that island or whatever, or wherever the fuck you washed up at. Um, and you get the fucking sword, that water blade. I remember that shit distinctly, man. And you talk to Waka for the first time, and you get that cool looking fucking blue sword. It's like a water sword. And I remember being like kind of amazed at the fact that, at the time anyways, that you could see the different weapons and shit. You know, like every time you switch the weapon, it actually changed in combat.
They had that with Tomb Raider, so I would never been impressed with that.
I always thought it was cool.
But I don't understand this.
Yeah, because the thing is that the weapon, the style of weapon doesn't change, but the design changes, and there are so many in the game, you know. And every time you change the weapon, it always looked different. It always changed, and it was like that for all the characters. So like every time you got a new weapon, it just looked different, you know, and it reflected the design of the actual weapon. I remember the game having like this sense of impact too. That was really cool. It had like a nice feel to it. Like every time you did an attack, it felt like impactful. Do I have this shit? I don't even know if I have this shit on the PS5. Hold on, let me save this.
Apparently, Sly Cooper is playable.
Uh,
The PS2 game.
you mean the collection?
Yeah, but it's like the PS2 game.
I think I have Final Fantasy X up here. I know I have it on my PS3, but I'm not sure about it here.
You a digger, bitch.
Oh, I do have it. Oh, it is installed. Nice. Oh, I don't have it. Never mind.
He's a stellar whore.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, they're all locked. Oh, that's probably because of my knees. Yeah, I let my niece use, connect her PlayStation 4 to my account. So her and her boyfriend could fucking play some stuff. And I think it locked out some of the games on my side, some of my older games. I'm not that worried about it. So something funny happened at work today, man. So I was doing my regular job, right? And there was this one girl that walked up to me, right? This fat chick. She's not like ugly, but she's not really that attractive either. But she's fat as fuck. And I'm not interested in talking to her, right? And she came up to me, trying to talk to me, like flirt and kind of do that type of shit, right? And I just wasn't rocking with it, man. So, I basically answered her question, whatever question she had, and the little like signal she was kind of throwing, I kind of like brushed it off to the side, right? And there's one other girl that works up front with her. Oh, and by the way, this fat girl, she's like the team lead, right? So one of the other associates up front, I started talking to her, and I usually talk to her, like not anything crazy, but just in passing, just for fun, right? I was just having a fun little lighthearted conversation with her, right? And as soon as this fat chick, right, noticed that I was kind of like more interested in this girl, right? She instantly like got like her energy like instantly changed. Right? And she's like, "Oh, you need to stop talking to our associates because you're distracting them." Right? And mind you, by the way, I didn't stop to specifically talk to this person. I was actually on my way to do something, and she was just along the pathway, right? So I told her, I was like, I just came over here to grab this stuff, and I was just here for a second or whatever, right? And she was like, yeah, just do whatever. I'm like, I'm doing it right now as we speak. You know, I'm not here to like take up everybody's time or whatever, right? And I got my stuff and went on about my day, right? And just throughout the day, right, me and this other girl, the better looking one, we just were having these like little small exchanges throughout the day. Nothing crazy, just as we passed by each other, like little comments here and there, right? And this chick just she's noticing all this shit, right? I guess.
Can't believe this flimsy thing is still working.
And the girl, she tells me, she's like, oh, she's just jealous, is what she told me, right? And I'm like, okay, I didn't give a fuck because I don't give a fuck about this bitch at all, right? I was like, okay, I don't give a fuck. All right, she can be jealous
Thank you
all
so
she wants.
much for your help.
Just be jealous over there,
Hello.
type shit, right?
It's been some time.
So I just kind of brushed it off to
Kindly
the side.
introduce me to this lady.
And a little bit later on down the line, right, in the day, the dude who's over everybody in that
Members of the
department,
Eve Airborne
right?
Squad.
I guess the manager or whatever his fucking role is,
What happened to you?
he came up to me, man,
Seems like you
and he was
weren't
like,
supposed to work this way.
I gotta talk to you,
Hello.
man. He was like, I didn't witness it, and this is how he said it. He's like, I didn't
I
witness
have
it,
innumerable thoughts concerning
but
your
I
existence,
heard,
and
you
I'm
know,
capable of making
that
fantastic plans.
you were basically flirting with he said it like flirting with the girls, like in general,
Adam,
like
please
all of
don't
them up
interrupt.
front. He kind of put it like that, like you need to stop
Someday I would
flirting with the
appreciate the
girls
opportunity
up
to
front,
sit at length
you know. And I'm
share
like,
with you my
what are you talking
fantastic
about?
plans.
It's like, first of all, I was like, I don't even do that
I
shit.
thank you
Second
again
of
for
all,
your
most of the
assistance.
time, and I told him
May
this,
our relationship
I
continue
said,
to prove
second of all,
constructive.
most of the time they start the conversation with me. I just go about my shit, and a lot of times they try to talk to my ass, and I engage with them, right? And he was just like, well, it doesn't matter. He was like, because the way it looks is that you're trying to like flirt with the girls up front, you know? And I immediately, when he told me all that shit, I was like, it was that fat bitch. She was, because I knew when he told me all that stuff that somebody had said something to him, right? And I was like, oh yeah, it had to have been the fat chick, the one that I wasn't trying to talk to or whatever. She was all happy and giddy when she tried to talk to me earlier, but when I was not trying to, when I wasn't having it, and she got like real kind of like pissed off or irritated or whatever the fuck happened to her, right? She went and told the manager, right, that I was flirting with all the girls and I was distracting all the girls up front, you know. And he came back and he told it to me. He talked to me about it, you know. I'm just like, I'm like, bro, really? Like, this chick really did this shit because she was on some jealous shit, you know, some
So
jelly,
stupid.
some jelly shit. You know what's funny?
What?
The fucking girl that I was talking to, bro, she still gave me her number anyway. She wrote her number down and gave the shit to me anyways. Even though we couldn't talk to each other, she gave it to me anyway. It's just like, bro, this jealous, ugly, fat bitch.
The other girl you were talking about
What?
that you had to call?
Oh, no. No, the one that I'm talking about is the one who's in New York. I
No.
was just gonna jump on the call with her for like 20 minutes. I didn't want to spend too much time, but I just told her I would call her. She didn't answer her phone though, so I wasn't gonna stick around and wait. I just laughed, man. I thought it was funny. I guarantee you, bro, if I was up there like trying to talk to her ass, she wouldn't have said nothing.
She been
Her big
quiet as
old,
shit.
hell yeah, she been quiet as a motherfucker. I was like, man, you really think I want to talk to your fat ass? Get the fuck out of here, man.
No, I went up north, man. I was like, holy shit, these bitches are fat. The fuck?
That shit is funny though, bro. Like, how girls can act like that. And the dude even kind of like sympathized with me just a little bit. I mean, I know he's a manager and shit, but he was like, you know what, man? It is what it is. Being a guy in the workplace can be kind of shitty, you know, because a lot of times, even if it's not you, right? A lot of times it's viewed as your fault, basically, because you know you're a fucking man, you know, and men are the fucking devil, so apparently. And even if it was some horny bitch, some ugly horny bitch who wanted your ass and you don't want her, oh yeah, HR, baby, how about that?
Ridiculous. Hold on, give me a second. I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, I'll be right back too. Actually. Hello. Still gone, I see. The Holy Empire of Sembrak.
You still getting your ass kicked?
Of course. The Holy Empire of Sembrak.
What a fool! Dying. It must be.
It's the struggle of kings and lords and gods. Oh, I haven't checked my Twitter all day, man. Let me see what's going on.
Can you spare a moment?
Just realized.
What's going on?
I normally wouldn't get a strain. I'm worried about my...
What happened?
As you know, finding a new variant is not even a big deal, as long as we can handle it. This particular new variant recently appeared, but one of my scout teams...
A new variant, you say?
Yes. A formidable... I'll send you the coordinates.
Yo, Nelson kills me with these friggin'
So,
memes,
you want me
man.
to find those sentinels?
I love his memes.
Thank
They're
you.
funny. Absolutely hilarious. Indeed.
What do you put on there this time?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of random shit.
Angel! The looters took my sister. Please save my younger sister.
Where are the looters now?
There, down the alley.
Wait right here.
Wait, what?
Why?
Angel. Everyone's happy to call you the Angel just because you came from the colony. Aren't we humans just like you? Well, why should we have to dig through garbage, cower, and hide from the Nativos just to survive? Why? But, didn't you know? How could you not? All of you are actual angels. There are many treasures, but none more precious than the materials inside your bodies. And with a body as state-of-the-art as yours, need I say? I've got to say, it'll be nice to hear a thank you for a change.
Nearby activities.
Abe, are you all right? Focus on me. Can you do that?
Adam?
These are black market merchants. I didn't think they'd approach airborne squad members.
can't be.
I've never seen this before. It looks like Nativa's what all humans had to worry about. Let's get you back to the safe house and do some maintenance.
The girl that gave me her number, she was like, "I'm wearing a dress tomorrow, just so you know."
She's a
She was
little
like,
whore.
he was like, "Be prepared." I'm like, "Oh,
She look good.
average." I like the way her body looks, though. That's kind of the only reason why I'm like low-key even considering it.
She thin.
Yeah, she's pretty thin. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
My angel. And now, here you are. We must have some sort of connection.
What do you want, Roxanne?
See this? Night. I'm trying to restore it.
You want me to help you fix?
Yes, it is dangerous, but if it's in the right hands, of course it's the Sentinels who... And as for you,
I can't refuse.
no need to play hard to get. And you might have...
What? Where did you...
Easy now. If you travel far enough out into a guard turret, that god, I'll destroy it. And bring me its... It won't be too much trouble for you.
Fine. But it's for the people of Zion.
Deal. This is a...
Retro. But I'll be able to see just what kind of information is passing through. Will 5 be enough? The cradle? It's through the presence chamber, right? A cat exists on Earth. In Zion. The input unit is down by the elevator to the presence chamber. So, why refuse to go?
They had to pick the most basic names for
Seems as though I'll have to
Nathan and Sam.
This one Naughty Dog always does.
I'm not talking about their first names. I'm talking about their real last names. I think it's so basic.
at the wasteland.
Do you even remember what it is?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember what it is?
Mm-mm.
Nathan and Sam Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
Morgan. Isn't Morgan the dog name for Naughty Dog?
basic. Is it? I can't remember.
So. Well, he died a long time ago, but, you know.
You said he died, you said?
Yeah.
Nathan Morgan. That doesn't even sound right.
Roxanne,
Of course. What brain?
I decree.
And low key, I don't even know if I like that backstory of how they got those names. Like they retconned Sam's involvement with it. You know, Nathan Drake. You remember that scene where he was like, "We needed a new start," and Drake never had any children, and then he reintroduced them. They reintroduced themselves as Nathan and Sam Drake.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was stupid.
Yeah. But that was supposed to be the backstory as to why Drake got his name. It just felt retconned. I didn't really like it.
Good to see you, Angel.
They got retconned in 3, right?
I'm up here.
No, it was 4.
Oh, honey.
That's so weird.
No, 3 was when you found out about their real names. Nathan and Drake Morgan. I'm sorry, Nathan and Sam Morgan. Even though fucking, what's her name? I can't even remember the chick's name. The main antagonist from the 3rd game. What was her name? Marlene or something like that.
No, not Marlene. That was from The Last of Us, Marlene.
Oh, it started with an M. Anyway, the woman from Uncharted 3. She pulled up the records from Nathan Drake's life, and didn't mention anything about Sam. Let me see, I'm gonna pull it up actually. Careful, I wouldn't want you to melt. Oh my god, I'm sorry. So corny. Like in a bad way. It wasn't even like corny in a good way. That was like the bad corny. I wouldn't want you to melt. Oh, let me see. Nathan Morgan. Uncharted 3. Oh, Marlo. God, that's so fucking forgettable, man. Hold on, that's why the audio is so low. I'm gonna leave from my phone really quick.
I don't recommend making a scene. You're not exactly here legally, remember? Greatness from small beginnings. Beneath that cocky exterior, you're still the same scared, filthy little runaway, aren't you?
Skip the mind games. You don't know me.
In fact, I suspect I know you better than anyone, Mr. Drake. Of course, that's not your real name, is it? But we won't dwell on that. Mother committed suicide. Father surrendered son to the state at the age of 5. Entrusted to the St. Francis Boys' Home. It's also Dickensian. Oh.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because it was British.
She's of no interest to us. But this, of course, we need to apply a little pressure.
Is this the same that she mentioned the name?
What do you want from me?
Or was it the first? Or was it the first one?
I need your help to find Victor Sullivan.
Right.
We already know he has the coordinates to find Iran.
I think it was the 4th game.
You told us Seems your loyalty isn't as firm as you like to think it is. What about his? Nothing. It's just, well, we've had you in our clutches for quite some time now. And he hasn't exactly mounted a rescue. He didn't rescue you back in Cartagena either. He just saw something he could exploit.
I know what you're trying to do.
Trust me. Victor is only ever in it for Victor. It's a cold, hard fact. I discovered it 20 years ago. I'm surprised it's taken him this long to figure it out.
Wasting your time, lady.
Very long. But ask yourself, when he scooped you off the streets of Colombia 20 years ago, did he save you from that life? Or did he just doom you to this one?
I wasn't the same.
Excellent.
I thought they killed
We've
it.
located Sullivan on the other side of the city. I'm sorry, Nathan. It seems you've been removed from the equation.
This is so stupid. Oh my god. I'm gonna look up that chase scene. Let me see. That wasn't the scene. Uncharted 3. What was it? Yemen. Yemen chase.
It's amazing how much you just slandered this game.
You said what?
It's just amazing how much you slandered this game.
It's not slander. It's true.
Nope. It's also the Kingian.
I'm sorry. You're so stupid. Do you even remember how like corny this looks?
I liked it. The scene was very
Dude. And the pirate had his hands, both of his hands on Nathan's shoulders. Talbot was standing right next to him. And I think, were there guards around him next to him? No, I think it was just like this. And then he tossed his table up like a fucking, like an idiot. I don't know what Naughty Dog was thinking when they made this fucking game.
It was Neil Druckmann, your fucking fan.
Oh my god. Oh, this shit was so stupid, bro. I was so disappointed with this shit, man. Just threw the table up, man. It's unfortunate because the game technically looks great, man. It looked great when it came out. They improved the fucking fighting mechanics in the game and everything, man. I didn't like the way the shooting felt. It felt off, but yeah, like overall the game was definitely a massive improvement technically from the second game. Everything except for the fucking this dumbass story that they tried to tell you. I couldn't believe it, yo. When I saw IGN gave this fucking game a 10, I was like, no.
I don't understand why you didn't like the game. That's really crazy to me. They threw everything but the kitchen sink out there, yo.
What do you mean?
They had horseback riding and everything.
I mean, the actual gameplay sequences they were cool. You know what I mean? It's just the context around them just took away from it. You know what I mean? There was nothing wrong with the actual gameplay mechanics. And some of the sequences that they had in the game, they were cool. Like, I actually had, like, I remember when you did that puzzle in Yemen where you go down the well, and then right at the end of the puzzle, where you get the fucking astrology map or whatever, and Sully remembers it, and then you get ambushed by the soldiers in that same room where you did the first puzzle. Like, that shit was cool. Like, it was fun. Like, the sequence itself was fun. You know what I mean? The boat sequence, like, that whole set piece was extremely fun. Right? The plane sequence was fun. Right? In a contained, like, in a vacuum, those sequences were fun. Right? Which is why I don't completely hate the game. But when you piece it all together, right? Just the context around all of it together just takes away from it, because it's like the story was shit, basically, you know, and this cool like pace that you would expect from a well told story, it just wasn't there, right? And all of the cool things that heighten the experience of doing all of these things in the game wasn't there. You know what I mean? And then even when they were promoting the fucking game, I remember when they were promoting the game, man. And they showed those set pieces, right? Like the boat and the plane and stuff. It made you wonder. It was like, well, what's the context around this? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going to make this such a really cool scene, right? Come to find out, they basically squished all of those sequences into like 2 chapters. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was like rushed. It felt rushed, man. You know.
I didn't care. The storyline was never that good.
I mean, the second game and the first game had a nice flow to it. You know what I mean? Uncharted 3, out of all 4 games, 5 actually, was the only one that had such a poorly paced story and poorly constructed gameplay sequences. The only fucking one, man. All the rest of them, you can say what you want about the story, right? About the actual story, but the way that it was constructed.
You can't say that the Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 4 was a good story, man. And pace-wise, shit was ass.
I would say it was poorly paced up until about chapter 6. After that, it was fine. It was actually really good. The story was basic. I mean, the story was relatively basic.
It was still poorly paced.
For the first part, yeah. That's my only gripe with the game. But overall, the experience for Uncharted 4 was incredible. You know, like it was an amazing game, man. I mean, overall, like when I played Uncharted 4, like when the credits rolled on Uncharted 4, I didn't feel disappointed. You know, I didn't feel like, you know, the game was like not only a disappointing experience, but it didn't feel like something was too much out of place for the most part. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, the first part of the game, the first couple chapters, like the first 5 or 6 chapters, were extremely slow. You know, I didn't like that shit. But the rest of the game, fine. So I never walked away from Uncharted feeling like I did with Uncharted 3. I really didn't. Uncharted 3, I just walked away from that game just extremely disappointed. And I was upset, man, when them motherfuckers gave that shit a 10. I was like, it's funny. When that game came out and they got a 10, like 10s across the board, man, I knew journalism was fucked up back then. You know? I was like, there's no fucking way. This game got a fucking, what? And I know the Metacritic score for the second game is higher, but I was like, what the fuck, man? This shit didn't deserve the scores that it got. I don't give a fuck. The Naughty Dog's name and prestige and the hype behind that game was
you were just had an issue with. Why is he showing me this ugly woman? You were just disappointed in the game to the point where there's nothing that it can do. It's that girl with the crackers.
The girl with the crackers. She's a little bitch or whatever, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Look at this bitch eating these crackers.
Yeah, that game was just it was irredeemable for me, man. I couldn't, man. And when people were saying that it was better than the second game, I was definitely like, oh, absolutely not. And most of the diehard fans usually say the same shit. Like Uncharted, they usually say the two games out of the series that they don't.
Not as bad as you are making it out, though. You're making that shit out to be an abomination.
It might as well be. Well, it just goes to show you that a pretty game doesn't make a good one, so. And it's from one of my fucking favorite game franchises ever. So, Uncharted 3 was a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck how pretty it is. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. Loved it. When I was, oh man, it disappointed me so much, man, because the game was so pretty, man, back on the PS3. It looked so great. Man, I remember being amazed by how good the game looked, man. Which made it so bittersweet because it looked amazing. And they improved certain parts of the game, like the combat system and stuff like that, man, but the way the game was constructed was just a piece of shit. It's shitty. It was stupid. I was like, what is this? You know? Like, I remember that boat sequence where Nathan was getting tortured by the pirates. And right before that cutscene, the cutscene where the pirate is talking to him, and he's like, oh, he said, well, I might have to go talk to Sully, or whatever the fuck he said, right? And you didn't see Sully at all. Like, there was no indication that Sully was in that vicinity at all. I saw through that whole thing, man. I was like, Sully's not even on the boat. This is the first time I played the game. It was so predictable. I was like, Sully's not even on the fucking boat. And then they had Nathan, you know, the guy, what was his fucking name? Nolan North, right? Playing the role like Nathan was really concerned about Sully being there. Like, he really tried to sell that shit. Like, he really believed it. And I'm looking at this shit like, bro, it's so predictable. I'm like, Sully's not even on the fucking boat. You know what I mean? And then, lo and behold, you get to the end of the boat, you see this blurry ass picture in the distance, the figure tied to the chair, you know, and you walk up and he pulls off the hood and Sully's not there. I'm like, oh, well, who would have guessed? You know? It was just, I don't know. It just made that whole sequence. It just made that whole sequence like fall flat, man. You know, like that whole set piece, right? Felt so stupid and flat because like the whole motivation behind it was Sully. You know? And for it to be so goddamn predictable, I was just like, it's just not even fun. You know, it wasn't exciting. And on top of that, they had already shown the set piece before, right? So it wasn't even like a what you call it? It wasn't like a surprise, right? Because we had seen it before. We seen it at the E3 press conferences and stuff, you know? So I already knew what was gonna happen. It just, I don't know, bro. It was just... And then right after that, man, he washes up on the fucking shore, right? And then he lays his head on Elena's, on her thighs, on her pussy lips, right? For like 3 hours.
Probably go to the hotel.
Yeah, you know? And I guess that was enough to revitalize him, you know? And then he did that whole plane sequence.
It was a campfire.
It's so stupid, man. And then that scene was like, I remember, dude, this was when Greg Miller was still at IGN, man. I remember this motherfucker. I can't believe I remember all this shit, man. I remember when Greg Miller, bro, he was like, oh, you could go back and listen to the fucking review, man, and he says this shit. He's like, oh, I remember this scene was so quiet. It was such a powerful scene.
He's just a fucking cuck anyway. I wonder what happened to him.
He has that kind of funny shit, man.
I heard that's going away at a dodo.
Let me see if I can pull that shit up, man. He was like, it's such a powerful scene.
Story has arrived, and the 2-year wait has been worth it. Uncharted 3 Drake's deception is touching, fun, beautiful, and most importantly, unexpected. The single-player story sends Drake sullying a crew after a lost city of immeasurable wealth in a desert wasteland. And the multiplayer
They gave, I forgot what score they gave Uncharted 2, but it was lower than, IGN specifically gave Uncharted 2 a lower score than what they gave. That, I'm gonna pause it really quick. That sequence right there was one of my favorite sequences in the whole game. As a matter of fact, it was probably one of my favorites in the series. The whole chateau sequence, I loved that, man. I thought it was so cool. That was a really cool sequence.
I love the boat one.
The boat's a really cool one too. I like the plane one too, like where you're riding and you you know what, man? They actually didn't do anything like that in Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 didn't have set pieces like that. Like in Uncharted 3 where you were on the car and you jumped onto the fucking landing gear for the plane and stuff. Like, they didn't have that type of shit in Uncharted 4.
So y'all niggas was complaining.
Even simple things like saying cling to our hero's head, it was hard not to marvel. Things like Nate touching a wall as he passes it or stumbling exhaustively.
His voice is annoying.
This game feel real.
Yeah.
But simply saying Uncharted 3 is pretty is selling it short. It's also thoroughly confusing. I'm the one the big disappointed in it. I saw this post felt too much like the first game. That doesn't happen.
When I heard him say that shit, I was like, bro, the credibility shot. This game is so predictable, man.
It's awesome. The writing and performances are smart and snappy, and they combine with set pieces, music, and cinematic moments to ensure that Uncharted is more than just a game. This is an experience.
I don't know, man. Like, they never felt like the same characters. You know?
Sully always does.
Uncharted 3 continues to refine the world. If you want to still climbing and shooting for 8 hours, you can throw back enemy grenades and hand-to-hand melee plays a bigger role than ever while adding counts.
Oh
story is told and keep you from feeling like you're just going into room after room and getting into gunfights. Exploring is the name of the game.
That's what made the fucking game feel disjointed.
Game's hidden treasures, or scaling a wall to figure out where you need to go next is part of the fun. There are many puzzles that open certain doors.
This is a cool puzzle. The one in the chateau where you had to line up the statues.
In terms of issues, I really don't have
Simple, but it was cool.
I found myself punching the
I like the one where you had to line up all the figures. And Yemen.
You talk. Oh, you're talking about
those limbs.
The limbs. Yeah. That was a cool puzzle too. Wait, was it Greg Miller? Or it might have been, hold on.
Progress and new accessories. Even if you don't want to play against other people, Uncharted co-op in fact features a heavily
it might not have been Greg Miller. I remember I heard somebody say that shit. It was such a quiet, beautiful scene.
Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception is the reason I play video games. It's an experience that's so rich, I'm able to melt in my couch and just get lost in the moment.
Okay, so